The word for today's Sunday service is lay foundation for greater relationship. Lay foundation for greater relationship. And the text is taken from the book of Ruth, chapter 1, verses 15 to 18. I read. And she said, "Look, your sister-in-law has gone back to her people and to her gods. Return after your sister-in-law." But Ruth said, "Entreat me not to leave you, or to turn back from following you. For wherever you go, I will go. Wherever you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God shall be my God. Where you die, I will die, and there will I be buried. The Lord did so to me, and more also, if anything but death parts you and me." And when she saw that she was determined to go with her, she stopped speaking to her. May the Lord bless the reading of His word. Amen. The conversation in Ruth 1:15 to 8 is a conversation between Ruth and her mother-in-law, Naomi. We all know the story of Naomi. How she went to the land of the Moabites with her husband and 2 sons. And along this line, her husband Elimelech died, and she lost her 2 sons. Her 2 sons were married, so she was left with her daughter-in-laws. But at the time, she decided to go back to her country, and she told the Moabite ladies that she was returning to her country. And both of them said they were going to go with her. But along the line, she persuaded them to go back to their people. But one in particular, Ruth, said she would not go back to her people. She was going to go with her mother-in-law. Whatever informed Ruth's decision at that time, probably compassion for the old woman, a woman that has lost her husband and her sons, probably love for adventure, which I doubt. I think it was love for her mother-in-law. Ruth said to her, because it is only somebody who loves someone who will say, "Your people will be my people. Where you die, I will die." It was a statement of commitment. It was a statement of lifetime devotion. That was the foundation she laid for a greater relationship with her mother-in-law. When you want to lay foundation for greater relationship, you must be ready to sacrifice. What did Ruth sacrifice? She sacrificed her time with her people. She sacrificed her youth in court as a widow that could have gone to her people to remarry or probably live the kind of life she wanted. She gave up that everything, her people, her passion to follow an old woman. It wasn't as if Naomi was rich. She came to the land of Moab because there was famine in her country. So she wasn't going with her because she was rich. She was going with her because of a promise that is ahead, like most people, who for what you have or what they think they can gain, which is visible to them, they commit themselves to you. No, there was nothing in view. Ruth chose to lay a foundation for a greater relationship. She doesn't know what that relationship will birth, but she knew that she was taking a relationship forward with her mother-in-law. She wasn't just going to remain a daughter-in-law. She wanted to become a daughter to that woman. A woman without a child. A woman without a husband. She chose to become a daughter. She left the level of being a daughter-in-law. She laid foundation for a greater relationship of being a daughter by sacrificing her freedom at that time as a widow, by leaving behind her people, not counting the cost, and going with Naomi to a land without anything in view. Whenever you anticipate greater thing in your life, be ready to lay foundation for it. Ruth was inspired by God. I believe it's the Spirit of God that made her see that even though this woman is old and barren, she cannot give a son to me to marry. But there's something about this old woman, I'll go with her. The sentiment for laying foundation for greater relationship comes from the place of relationship with God. Because only God can make you see that there is something in somebody that appears to be nothing. At that time, Naomi had nothing physically, but she had hidden resources that is not visible to eyes. Learn to identify people that you will lay foundation of a greater relationship with. And this foundation is not based on what you can see. If you lay foundation on lay foundation for greater relationship with somebody that is a millionaire, it might not even be a blessing to you. It might be somebody like Naomi, who seemingly appeared useless, empty, with nothing, that God will use to take you to the next level through the greater relationship you establish with them. And she decided to go with Naomi. Go with me quickly. Let's see what happened. I want us to see the end before we dive into how she got to the end. And Ruth became the wife of Boaz. Boaz was one of the rich men in the land of Israel. From being a widow that decided to lay foundation for greater relationship with her mother-in-law, she became the wife of Boaz in the land of Israel. How did she become the wife of Boaz? The moment they got to the land of Israel, people wanted to know the young woman with Naomi, because she has left the level of a daughter-in-law to lay foundation for being a daughter, as evident in her leaving her people and everything that has to do with her background, to follow a woman that has no child to become a child to her. On getting to the land, Naomi understood what she did, and she introduced her to everybody that asked, "Who is she?" She told them, she is my daughter-in-law. She introduced them. Access. When you lay foundation for relationship with people, and they see the sacrifice you've made, they give you access. She could have walked faster than her and keep a distance, or keep her out of view so that people cannot see her with her and nobody will know who Ruth was. But she made sure everybody saw her with her, and she was proudly introducing her as a daughter-in-law. When you lay foundation for greater relationship, the first harvest you get is access. Because that person you made that sacrifice from will begin to see you from a special eye. She will leave her access to you, or leave his access to you, because you have established trust through the foundation you laid, the sacrificial foundation you laid. You have established trust, and because that trust is there, they don't restrict their access.